Hi y'all, and welcome back to my channel. And welcome to another installment in the absolutely fantastically enlightening roasting my past makeup purchases. Now, this is something that I did see Abby Williamson do. She does a lot of kind of like self-roast rhetoric content, which I am here for. I am down with the self-observation, self-reflection, and with the amount of makeup that I have purchased in my time buying makeup, there is bound to be certain things that looking back on now, I'm like, why did you spend $50 on that shiz? I have already done one other ones of this, so I will leave it down below. I apologize if there is some overlap between this one and makeup I shouldn't have bought. I do those videos. Sometimes certain products stand out so much that you gotta talk about it a couple different times because you look at it and you were like, you dummy. Contrasting those purchases compared with the kind of makeup consumer I am now, it's a little embarrassing, it's a little bit cringy, but in order to be a well-rounded person, we have to be able to accept our faults, accept our mistakes, give them a little bit of roast, look at them, and then move on in life. Okay, we're gonna start off in this one. We do have a fair amount of highlighters, and as much as I love highlighter, as much as I use and bathe in highlighter, your girl suffered from a lot of impulse highlighter purchases. Probably simply for the fact that they were shiny, new, and a highlighter, so I had to have it simply on the sole basis that it was a highlighter. And as such, mistakes were made, one of which being the Stila Heaven's Hue highlighters. Now, this is a roast for a couple different reasons. Number one is, y'all know this, your girl has an issue with not being able to buy just one. If a new range comes out, your girl gotta have all of them. So there was the purpley toned one. We had the one that was kitten, which is the Stila cult whatever fave shade color. And then they had one that was obviously clearly too dark for me, but I bought it because I have issues. And now, I'm not saying that these are bad products. Apparently, when they released, they won one of the Allure Beauty Awards. So there is that. I'm sure a lot of people love them, but as pretty as these were when you swatched them, I found that these highlighters, they were that cream, putty, kind of translucent veil situation, which y'all know your girl is not looking for a veil of highlighter. I am looking for high impact. I am looking for otherworldly, ethereal, a vaguely threatening aesthetic. And so these just sort of, they should have been something that I left at the store simply because of the formula. I knew I didn't like cream products, and while this isn't a traditional cream, it was definitely something less akin to a powder, which is what I go for. They were in a favorites video. I'm not entirely sure why. I think I had no idea what I was talking about. When I got those, I was still sort of in the phase of, well, everything is good. Whether it actually worked for me, it looked good on me, or was just actually good on a whole. There was a lot of brand pleasing in Soraya's past, which is funny because that's when I had like diddly in subscribers, so what's the point in brand pleasing when brands don't even know you exist? But it was something that I wasn't sure how to use. You couldn't really pick it up with a brush. I'm not a fan of tappy with my fingers. Didn't work really well with the sponge. For all the people who love this shiz and figured out how to make it work for them and make them look all kinds of glossy and beautiful, that is fantastic. I did not have that moment of clarity. So it's just a highlighter that I bought. I bought all friggin' 3 of them, and then I decluttered all 3 of them. They just sat there looking pretty. Okay, here's another really shouldn't have bought. This was a painful realization. I mean, some things you initially know. You're like, yep, I was dumb, shouldn't have bought that. And then other things you buy, and you've got great expectations, the best of intentions with this shiz. And then I tried to use it recently, and I was like, I don't like this shiz. When Becca decided to release their Light Chaser highlighters, I just about lost my shiz. I am a slut for Becca highlighters. You all know this. You've seen my declutter. You've seen my collection. And I was smart. I didn't buy, well, smart. I bought 4. And I think the collection was like 6 or 7. So I give myself a little pat on the back for not going completely ham. But I mean, if I'm thinking about me of today, I mean, these highlighters were $34, which is $4 less than the regular ones, and you got like this much product. I had issues with that. When they arrived to me, I was like, I don't remember buying the mini size. And they were just a different formula. They were not the same kind of smooth, ethereal, cha-cha-cha-cha that we are used to and expect from Becca. They were a lot stiffer, they were more powdery, they were more texture enhancing. They did not give that glossy skin-like finish of highlight. And I feel this harkens to just me and how I am today, whereas I look at things more critically. I am trying very hard not to be the ever freaking constantly consuming highlighter person. I will still continue to consume highlighter, but we're doing it a lot more smartly than we did then. And it's really a letdown. It honestly turned into a products I regret buying, because when I finally was really starting to try to use them, they just fell really flat. Like I had so much expectation. You swatch them, they look beautiful. I tried a myriad of different brushes with these things, and they just ended up not performing to my expectations. So this is really just one of the stupid, when a range comes out, does not mean you need to buy the whole ding dang diggity shiznit of it. Really interested, get you one. See if you like the formula, because that was the issue I ran into, was the fact that these things would come out, I would buy full ranges, not knowing whether I would like the formula or not. It's just a whole lot of mistake happening up in there. Okay, then another highlighter whateverness that I shouldn't have bought. Now, part of the reason I bought this is because the industry had not boomed into the highlighter surge that it is today. This was kind of like one of those, well, this was one of the options we had. But I bought the Urban Decay Original Naked highlighters. Those big, giant, clunky, powdery, glittery messes of a highlighter. And I bought all 3. And then I bought the Fireball one. And then I bought the little spacey mini whatever one that they released with their Elements palette. And all of them, I'm not gonna say they sucked, but Urban Decay has a really bad habit of creating formulas with glitter in them where the glitter doesn't stay anywhere where it's supposed to. You try to take their shiz and put it on your nose or put it on your cheeks, and then it's just kind of everywhere. It becomes this just atmosphere of glitter flittering and spitzing. It's gonna be all over you for the next week. It's on your cat, your husband, your walls, your ceiling, your floor, in your brushes, in your everything. Urban Decay just has not perfected a glitter formula that isn't an absolute glitter bomb. I mean, at least they didn't make like Too Faced and make a whole palette about it. But these, y'all, I held on to this shiz because I was like, oh yeah, sure, I'll use this. I'll put this powdery, pasty, whatever mess all over my face. Maybe if I have the money to go to a vacation in Saint Tropez, I'll take it with me and I'll use it as a body highlighter. Which is honestly the last thing I'm gonna do, because if I can't control it on my face, there ain't no way I'm controlling that shiz on my body. And if there's anything I hate, it's getting schwitz and stuff all up on my clothes. I am a purist. I don't like things mixing in that sort of way. That's why I have a problem with glitter, because I'm like, you need to stay in one place, and it doesn't want to do it. It just wants to give itself to absolutely everyone and everything. And so looking at these, I bought them, this was even before my highlighter whateverness. I know I bought them just because they were a thing that were there, and I had to have everything from every brand imaginable. So I'm gonna roast myself simply for the fact of having that mindset. Yeah, we're more enlightened now, but back then we were just consuming and purchasing and buying willy-nilly. I mean, that was the time when I was buying any and all kinds of bronzers. A brand would release a bronzer and I'm like, you know, I have a drawer, a basket, a bin full of bronzers that I absolutely do not use. I'll swatch them occasionally and remark on how smooth they feel, but they've never touched my face. You know what I should do? I should buy 2 more that I'm probably never gonna use. Okay, now let's talk about, we're making a good segue into the bronzers, and it's a Too Faced product. I feel like there is a lot of roasting within Too Faced products that I purchased, because Too Faced was a brand that I was like, well, everything is good. Everything is great. We review everything. And now I don't buy hardly anything from them. They release something new and I'm like, well, this is stupid. But this was quite a few years ago. I want to say probably bordering on like 5 years ago, maybe even 6. But at a time, Too Faced released the Sex and the City and the Friends bronzer blush, heart-shaped, kitschy, cutesy, packaging, fueled little whatever things. Have I seen Friends? Yes. Is it my favorite TV show? No. Have I seen Sex and the City? Yes. Is it my favorite TV show? No. Did I buy those things willy-nilly anyway because they were in cute little black heart-shaped compacts and the product inside was all kinds of pretty and you had the bronzer on the outside and little pretty blush all up in there? You best believe I did. And they were never touched. Even aside from the fact that these products got trash reviews during that time, I can't remember how many declutters I watched where people were like, this sucks. But I have a strong affinity to Friends. I have a strong affinity to Sex and the City. I'm gonna keep it because it's cute. Not because the bronzer or the blush were bomb diggity. The blush had 0 pigment. I don't even bronze and I knew that shiz was crap. I mean, it is such a testament to what kind of consumer I was, because I was like, I don't even watch these shows, but I'm gonna buy it because it's Too Faced and they're pretty. I mean, I can't tell you how many times where I think if I could have a time machine and I could just go back and slap the shiz out of myself back then. No! You put that back on the shelf. You don't pay $38 for 2 of these things that you ain't ever gonna use. I don't know. I just had a thing. It doesn't help that I love heart-shaped whateverness. That is one of my things. There are certain motifs that I like. Hearts are one of them. But it's just, I mean, it was a bronzer with a little teeny tiny blush. You know, I don't like that cross-contamination. I hate when you have compacts where it's like, well, here's this product and then unseparated by a pan, we're just gonna put this other thing in here that it's gonna get muddy and mixed together, and I shiz you not, the blush was like the size of a quarter in this giant pan of bronzer. The aesthetic was there, but that's about all that was there, and that was all I needed for me to buy it, for them to sell it to me, for me to buy it. Okay, we talked about this, I know, in a makeup I shouldn't have bought, but we're gonna reiterate it here. I believe in the makeup I shouldn't have bought, I was like, I decluttered 2 of these, and since then I've decluttered all of them. But the Violet Voss little mini fun-sized palettes. Now y'all know I am not against cute little curated, nicely done monochromatic or otherwise palettes. I feel like smaller, more curated palettes are the wave of the future. The Morphe 35O is so 2013. But looking back on my purchase of these, it is a roast simply for the fact that I know inside, I knew then, I know even more now, that I bought those simply because I wanted to review them because I wanted to have a reason to buy something. So I wasn't buying them for the sole sense of, oh wow, those are unique. Those look nifty. I love the Violet Voss formula. I was buying them because I was getting purchase stir crazy, and so I was like, all right, I could review that shiz, add to cart, check out. And that's not good. We ain't doing that no more. I ain't reviewing shiz unless I know I'm gonna get my use out of that. And yeah, they were nice and cute and compact, but they literally brought nothing new to my collection. The formula was pretty good. The review was favorable. We were still in a little wee bit of brand loving at the time, but I think I've anti-hauled all the ones that have come out since, not because I think they're crap products, but because I know there was just no reason. The only reason was because I was bored and I wanted an excuse to buy something, and that's bad, Soraya. Bad. We're making better choices now, but that was like, I feel at that point was kind of honestly the peak of my oversaturation of purchasing things, and that's kind of when we started having the turnaround. I wasn't as enthralled by holiday releases, by reviewing everything. I was noticing lower quality. You know, we were kind of at the before point of the enlightenment we are now. So those were definitely something that I deserve to be roasted for, because even then, we're not even looking at it back now knowing then I knew that I was just buying them as an excuse to buy something, saying, I will review it. Okay, this next one is at least something that I didn't pay for full price. So there's a little bit of that. I mean, that in and of itself is roasting. Y'all know that in my makeup addiction series, one of my things that I'm not doing is I ain't taking my butt into Marshall's, TJ Maxx, Ross, anywhere that sells discounted makeup, because that is a black hole of, oh, well, I wasn't going to buy it. I had no intention of buying this shiz full price, but hey, it's $10. I guess I'm going to buy it now. I can't tell you how much makeup I've purchased there that I've bought just because it's a lower price point and then isn't in my collection anymore, except for all the liquid lipsticks I've scored. 99.99999% of my ABH liquid lipstick collection was from Marshall's. But the Lime Crime Diamond Crushers liquid lipstick pigment foil shimmy shiny situation. I saw Atlee review them. She even got like Lime Crime was all shady to her. I remember there was that kind of thing. She was like, oh, they might be irritating me a little bit. And they're like, no, you just don't know how to do lip swatches. Like, excuse you? That's rude. And, you know, I wanted them because they were shimmy shiny. I'm like, imagine all the fantastical shiz I could do with those. I didn't buy them because I was being good. Don't know if I anti-hauled them or if they were like $20. And I'm like, $20 for something that I might occasionally use? At least I had the foresight for that. But one day, I'm milling around in Marshall's, doing my thing, looking for a fix, looking for a score. And behold, they had the Lime Crime Diamond Crushers for, I want to say, $8. I bought 4 of them. I've swatched them. I've kept them. They've made it through lip declutters. And I don't think I've ever put one of them to my lips once. But it's one of those things where you're like, oh, but it's so pretty. I could do so much magical, fantastical shiz with this. When in reality, Soraya, me, myself, and I, as much as I like to consider myself a creative mastermind, a fantastical whiz of aesthetic perfection, I'm honestly not as creative as I think I am. I don't do a lot of, partly because I don't have a place to do it, but I don't do the fancy Instagram pictures. I take pictures when I have makeup on here. You've seen it. But I'm not taking time out of my day to purposefully do fancy. My marketing, the reason I have the subscriber base that I have is not for my fantastical makeupness. Not saying I suck at it. I'm just saying most of y'all are here. Yes, you do like my makeup. I love you. Bless each and every one of you. But a lot of y'all are here for the sassy, opinionated commentary. That's what got me to where I am. Not the fact that I can't, but painting Botticelli's The Birth of Venus on my eyelid. That's not happening. So it's one of those things that I have in like my editorial special FX drawer that basically doesn't get touched. Maybe around Halloween time we get a little inventive, but I just ain't wearing that shiz on a regular day-to-day basis. I'm so glad I didn't buy full price. I'm so glad I only bought 4 of them. But I look at that and I'm just like, why are you buying this sort of thing? Because it's shiny. It's the same issue with highlighters. It's basically like the KVD glimmer veils. I have those. I love them. I need to use them before they go bad. That kind of formula is very volatile and a lot more conducive to going bad quicker, especially if it's vegan, which is currently the only thing that KVD has going for itself right now, as it desperately tries to cling to some sort of relevancy. Okay, something else that's just kind of this whole like, yeah, you dumb, you stupid, why you buy that shiz? Another Too Faced item. We've already talked about a couple different Too Faced things, but this one being the Too Faced Clover palette, which I have reviewed, which I gave a favorable review, which looking back on it and being if I were to review this palette today, I would be looking at it with a much more skeptical eye. Did I think the palette was bad? No. Was the color story very mishmash? Yes. Was the main selling point, marketing point of it, that cute, kawaii, kitschy Clover packaging and the fact that they were giving money to a particular animal charity? Definitely. At this point, Too Faced had reached a level of packaging selling that occasionally has good makeup in it. Too Faced has a very hard time creating consistent quality ick, and they are very unself-aware about what they do. They just keep putting out these cute, pretty, aesthetically pleasing concepts that are not seen through the product itself. Long gone are the days of the cutting edge, breaking through sweet peach palette. Long gone are the days of the chocolate bar palettes being considered innovative and inventive. Even gone are the days of the chocolate gold palette. We are just out here releasing anything and everything we can push out. Doesn't matter, quality control. Is it actually good or interesting? We don't care. We're just putting it in cutesy whatever packaging. We're going to sell you skincare. We're going to sell you eyeshadows. We're going to sell you random. We're just selling you all the things without any precedent on whether it's good or not. And that palette, while it had some nice whateverness to it, I have decluttered it. Y'all saw that. It just compared the Too Faced eyeshadow formula. In my personal opinion, a few palettes are fantastic. The Peachy Mattes, I'm very tempted to buy another Sweet Peach palette to see if I still love that shiz. Not in 2020 though. It's just not that amazing. You know, we've got high-end brands, we've got low-end brands, we've got indie brands outperforming this shiz left and right. They're just gonna take the Too Faced formulas, some of which are fantastic, but they're gonna take the other ones out back into the alleyway and beat them with a baseball bat. That's how high performing these other brands are compared to Too Faced, this high-end mainstream brand that just isn't cutting it anymore. I love how I'm supposed to be roasting my makeup purchases and this just turned into like a roast of Too Faced. Sometimes you gotta get the shiz off your chest. Long story short, I was dumb for buying that. I wanted it because it was cute and it was kawaii and I love everything by Too Faced and I want to review all of their stuff. I mean, Thrive today is just looking on that memory and looking in cringe at like, wow, that used to be me. Oh, not cute, not good. We're moving on. But those are all the items I have for you all in this particular video. I can probably continue doing these and I may continue doing them until I just run out of products. They are a wonderful testament, a wonderful reminder to how far we have come from being the mindless bronzer buying consumer that I was. Do I still make mistakes? Yes. But at least I'm making them with a bit more critical thinking than just mindlessly buying Clover palettes and cream highlighters and full ranges of highlighters that I'm not even sure if I'm gonna end up liking or not. Obviously, I'd love to hear y'all's thoughts on these particular products. If you love them, that is fantastic. You keep doing you, boo-boo. We all have different expectations and experience. Makeup is disgustingly subjective. I'd also love to hear some things that, maybe roast a product that you bought that you look back on now and you're like, wow, you dumb. It's always good. It's all in fun. But thank you guys so much for watching. I love you. And as always, keep it real. Mwah.